How's it going, everyone? As the PC gaming market is continuing to be at a not great place, it is time to once again take a look at the best pre-built computers that are available on Amazon. Obviously, you guys know how the market is, not the best thing in the world right now. I do, off the top, before getting into any of the PCs themselves, I want to mention that if you're looking to build a very lower end PC, like, you know, $400 or $500 range, you can honestly build a PC like that, and you can get a Ryzen CPU with, like, integrated graphics, and that'll get you through a lot of games if you're looking to play, you know, League, Overwatch, esports titles, and even push some other games. But if you're looking to go of the plus $600 range, pre-built gaming is honestly not a bad option, especially if you just don't want to build your own PC, just because GPU prices are grotesque right now. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and I want to start things off with the $715 option, the HP Pavilion Desktop. This has a GTX 1650 Super in it. It falters a little bit on the CPU side of things with an Intel Core i3-10100, 8GB of DDR4 RAM, 256GB. Now, this is the cheapest option for a PC that I would say is relatively decent, because if you look up the price for a GTX 1650 Super, you're not going to be that happy about it, because you're going to see it can go for as high as $320, $330. I even see some listings for close to $400, which is like completely yikes to me. But this PC, the drawback is that these HP PCs are very hard to upgrade, and your upgrade options are very, very limited, so that's always a bummer. A Core i3 isn't the greatest thing in the world as well, but if you're okay with, you know, gaming, at lower settings, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but this is probably one I would stay away from unless that $700 mark is really your hard cutoff. Then I could see why, but I just wanted to give that a mention. Again, I would recommend, if you are looking to build a gaming PC, get something a little bit better than this. Okay, now we jump up. This is closer to the $900 range. The SkyTech Chronos mini gaming PC. This has an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 3.6GHz CPU, a GTX 1650, a 500GB SSD, 8GB of DDR4 memory, and then you have, you know, Windows 10. All the PCs have Windows 10 on it. So this one, from a CPU side of things, is much better. The GTX 1650 is okay. It can do a lot at 1080p, and it can actually push quite a few games. But again, you're looking at medium to high settings, but you can run a lot of games at pretty decent settings and pretty decent frame rates. Just don't expect, you know, ultra settings, lock 60 FPS, anything like that, but a decent one, all things considered. If you bump up to $900, and I can actually speak on this pre-built PC because I have one and I've done some testing on it on this channel, the CyberpowerPC Gamer Xtreme with an Intel i5-10400, 2.9GHz, GeForce GTX 1660 Super, 6GB, 8GB of RAM, and a 500GB NVMe SSD for $900 is pretty good. This is actually $50 off right now. I was lucky. They had a great deal on this during Prime Day, and I was able to pick it up and do some testing on the channel. We ran Witcher 3 on it. Witcher 3 ran great at 1080p. Horizon ran pretty well at 1080p. A lot of those games run pretty darn well at 1080p. Even if you want to bump up some games to 1440p, you can do that as well. But this PC is pretty solid, all things considered. A 1660 Super can do a lot. You know, even with newer games, Red Dead, Horizon, and I'll upload more gameplay on this channel highlighting this PC, but it's pretty good for what it is, so definitely would give it a recommendation at $900. If you can find it a little bit cheaper, definitely go for it then, but it hovers around $950 usually on Amazon. So it's pretty nice to see it $50 off here. Alright, moving on from that, now we're getting quite a bit higher end. If you still want to get a GTX 1660 Super, but you want to up it in some other areas, the SkyTech's Chronos Mini AMD Ryzen 5 3600, 3.6GHz, GTX 1660 Super, a 16GB DDR4 3000MHz configuration, and a 500GB SSD is $1,050. So that's 16GB of DDR4 memory, and that Ryzen 5 3600 is a pretty good upgrade over what you see in the other PC. So if you want to spend a little bit more, $150 more, and get a better CPU as well as more RAM, and that additional 8GB of RAM does go a decent way, this isn't a bad option either if you have the couple of bucks to spare. Alright, moving on from that, Right now, they've got a coupon running for the SkyTech Archangel 3.0 PC. It's listed at $1,450, but they're running a coupon where you just save $150 off the bat, so it takes it down to $1,300. And what you get is a Ryzen 5 3600, 6-core CPU, a 3.6 GHz RTX 2060, a 500GB SSD, and 16GB of DDR4 memory. Now, in RTX 2060, this is the area of GPU where you look at the prices for, and they get kind of crazy. This is at the lower end of crazy, but still pretty crazy, as the RTX 2060 is going for well over $500 in most cases, usually closer to the $600 or $550 mark. So, getting that in a $1,300 PC isn't that bad given everything else you're getting with it, pre-built and everything like that. So I thought that was worth a mention. If the coupon is not valid by the time you guys are watching this video, I would say X-nay on this one. Not a great deal, but given that coupon is live, I thought it was worth a mention. But yeah, $1,300 isn't the worst deal for that. Okay, this one, honestly, from what I'm seeing, this might be the best pre-built deal I'm seeing, and that is the SkyTech Azure gaming PC. This has a Ryzen 5 3600, 3.6 GHz, an RTX 3070, which we'll circle back to that in a second, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, a 1TB NVMe. They do specify a 650-watt gold power supply, so that's always nice. 3070, as you guys are probably aware, a beefy GPU, excuse me. This is a GPU that is going for well over $1,000 right now. So if you're going on eBay, there's some listings for $1,100, $1,150. I mean, some people are crazy and listing it for $1,500, which don't be paying $1,500 for it, guys. This PC pre-built is $1,700, and you're getting all that other stuff. Again, from a value standpoint, this might be the best deal that I'm seeing as far as a pre-built computer goes, just because a 3070 is, I don't even know what to call it. It's a good GPU, like 1440p gaming. I mean, if you're playing 1080p, you're gonna, like, beast through games, but, like, honestly, with the 3070, you should probably go 1440p. Just a great GPU, and a very good one to take you pretty far. Even with, maybe you want a Ryzen 7 instead of a Ryzen 5, but a Ryzen 5 is still pretty dang good. 16GB of RAM, and not to mention a 1TB NVMe compared to a lot of the other PCs I've mentioned with a 500GB SSD or 500GB NVMe. 1TB definitely takes you further along. Okay, I do also want to mention, if you want an AMD GPU, the CyberpowerPC Gamer Supreme Liquid Cool Gaming PC with a Ryzen 9 3900X, an AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT, 12GB, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, a 1TB NVMe, and a 1TB HDD, so you're getting a lot of storage here. $2,000 flat for this one. Excellent CPU, very good GPU, 16 gigs of RAM, a lot of storage, pretty well put together by the looks of it. I mean, if you're going higher end, not a bad option at all if you want an AMD GPU. Super high-end CPU on this one as well, so $2,000 flat for this one, not bad. And then finally, also gotta say, this RTX 3080 PC, the OMEN gaming desktop for $2,495, got a RTX 3080, an i9-10850K, 32 gigs of RAM. That's a lot. 1TB SSD and 2TB hard drive for $2,500 is pretty good. Now, pretty good, considering the market, of course. In the grand scheme of things, you know, what an RTX 3080 should be valued for, obviously not the best thing in the world. But if you look up the price of an RTX 3080 right now on eBay, you're looking at $1,500, usually well over $1,500. A lot of listings here for $1,800 to $2,000. Looks like 17 is around what I'm seeing it for, but given you're getting a beefy CPU here, 32 gigs of RAM, a 1TB SSD, a 2TB hard drive put together, Windows, all that good stuff. I mean, this is a decked out PC for your money, and definitely one of the higher end options that you can get. So definitely a solid option here. Definitely the best in terms of the higher end PCs that isn't absolutely killer in terms of price, because a lot of the 3080 PCs on Amazon are going for like 4K. Like, bruh, nobody should be dropping 4K on a PC unless you're going like you're just going insane at that point, and you got FU money. But yeah, $2,500. I think that is like should be the limit for a lot of people. And hey, if you have the money and you want to spend more and you want to get something crazy, feel free. Not my job to tell you what to do with your money, but at $2,500, a 3080 with an i9-10850K and a 32 gigabyte RAM configuration, 1 terabyte SSD, that's going to get you through a ton of games at great frame rates and great settings. i9-10850K, I don't know why I always say 850K, that's just my dialect. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for me. Links to all of these will be in the description box down below. They are Amazon affiliated, so if you end up buying anything, I get a kickback to the channel, and usually I use that money to buy more PCs, do more testing, have another PC on the way here, and it's a little bit of a lower end one, so we'll check that out and see how that does. But one of these higher end PCs I already have. We picked up one of the 3080 PCs, and that's been doing pretty well still. So that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.